This is not an instructional video. What? Can be a problem. My name is Jeremy. I am the 5th generation on this farm operation. So one of the things that we do to support our farming addiction is installing field drainage tile for other farmers. The drainage tile, the water seeps into the drainage tile and drains off the fields, allowing the ground to dry out enough for farmers to be able to get in at a decent time in the spring. The drier soil is going to grow a better crop, unless you're in a drought year, but we don't generally have that here, not like we do wet. Drier soil is also warms up faster, which helps the seeds take off and start growing quicker, which ultimately means a better stand later in the season. So what we're doing today is going to run a field with our Polaris Ranger and our GPS system to map it out, make a topographical map that I'll take home, put in the computer, and design a tile plan. Once I get the plan drawn up, then I can write an estimate and get back with the customer and go from there, see whether he wants to do the project or not. So that's where we're headed this morning. Okay, so there's our temporary base station. The white thing there, that's our satellite receiver, and that is our radio antenna broadcasting to the radio antenna on the Ranger. That's the radio. There's our battery for power. There's the receiver and the radio receiver on the Ranger. And start mapping. First thing we need to do is make our boundary. So we're going to make an outer boundary. We're driving 15 feet left of our boundary. Get to go there, and then we're going to make a topo map. So new survey, blah blah blah, drive this spacing, yada yada yada. Green, yellow, then green. Might as well get to this screen right now, because this will be the next place we need to be to set a new AB line. Alright, let's make a map. There's a lot of water in this field. It's kind of frozen on top, but I almost guarantee it's not frozen underneath, which could be a problem with trying to survey. I don't particularly like being stuck. Yeah, I don't think I'll go back through there. Okay, we're back here at where we started on our first lap around the whole field. So I'm going to stop the boundary, save it. 92 acres we got. So I'll change the view so you can see. That's what we just drove around. We do have another little field over in this corner that we have to do once we're done with this big one. Alright, we're getting along here. We've got about 12 acres done so far. You can see where the water's standing. That's where I broke through the ice. It's not very thick. It's only been below freezing for a couple of days. So, been a little fun out here so far. You can kind of see we're zipping along there. I speed up there in the corner 17. It really doesn't matter how fast you travel. As long as it's smooth enough that you're not jumping all over the place, that'll give you bad readings on your topo map. But otherwise, you can zip right along. I was doing about 23, 24 earlier, but it was just a bit too much for me in the seat. I've got my favorite. You can see my little guy there, my little avatar, whatever you want to call it, is driving backwards. I'm not driving backwards. That started at the same time the screen started beeping. Just a little jump glitch in the satellite somehow. I can correct it. There's a simple way to do it, but the problem is I'd have to stop recording to be able to correct it. Oh look, it corrected itself just like that. Well, that's beautiful. Otherwise, so sometimes farmers cut cross ditches in their fields. Yeah. to get rid of the surface water, which is necessary. But I have to drive straight back and forth through the field. I can't not go through those ditches. And in this particular field, there's 3 right here in this little spot, so I'm trying to inch my way through them so as not to break my back or my camera screen. There. Now we're through, I can speed up again. So this field's been a little bit rough, not any more than most that I'm on though, but it's got this whole area here, and it looks like he chisel plowed. There's no way I'm surveying that. I wouldn't have a spleen left if I drove back and forth across all of that. But he said any high ridges he didn't want tiling anyway, and that for the most part looks like high ground. So I probably don't need a plan for in that area. I just like to always map it if I can, because you never know when you might have to pull a main through something to get to a little hole on the other side. But hopefully I don't need anything like that, because there's no way I can survey that ground. So this is what we drove here today in this big field. Like I said, I still got this little field to do down here yet. I'll get to that in a minute. But this is the field. These spots here and here, those are spots that were too wet for me to get through. There's another little one here. And then this whole area here, this was the area that was chisel plowed. But he had given me a Google map printed off that showed this whole area as kind of a sandy, high ridge area through here anyway. So hopefully when I go to lay this out, I don't need any numbers from that area, because there's no way I can drive that to get a map. Even if I did beat myself up to try to get through there, it'd be a lot of wear and tear on my Ranger, and the numbers wouldn't be accurate because of the constant bouncing and jarring. So we're almost done. I just got that little field to do, and then we'll be out of here. Thank goodness too, because it's almost lunchtime. I got it just a little bit dirty. So I'm gonna give it some time to thaw back out. And then I'm going to give it a bath. Yeah. Okay, so we've got the field here that we mapped earlier today. I've got it loaded into the computer. This is what it puts in as a default. When I load it up, I like to make a few changes. Make it just a little easier for me to understand. And change it to 6-inch increments. And then change the color scheme. And then make it partially transparent so I can see the ground behind the map. There we go. Now you can look at this area here. It shows it all like it's one big flat area, which is not true. But that was the area that we didn't map, so that's just how it fills it in between the inside the boundary of the field. So what we've got is a hole over here that is 715.84 elevation, and we gotta try to get it through this hill, which comes up all the way to 719.7, so nearly almost exactly 4 feet of hill before it comes back down into the ditch. So here's our preliminary plan. I'm going to take the footage from this tile system that I've just laid out here and put it together in an estimate and get a price to our customer, and then we'll go from there.